Majo John Madden along the seawall just south of the marina section and the Hotel Mar Y Tierra. That's one of the two expensive hotels. There's one a couple blocks further north that's more grand and more expensive. But otherwise, it's the most expensive hotel in this section of the marina. It doesn't have a beach. That beach is closed. But people walk to the really pretty humble beach down that way. The nice part about that beach is that it's a bay. It's not open water, so it's extremely swimmable. My second chapter in Veracruz, I had left to explore Orizaba up in the mountains, an official magical pueblo, and it is stunningly magical. I weep. I've been gone 20 days and I weep when I look at my videos of Orizaba, how gorgeous it is. And I went there because a young woman that I interviewed on the wharf down there told me about her town and really sold me on it. I've got that video. I'll include a link to that video. So before I headed east to the Riviera Maya, which I've always thought was my destination here, and now I do again, my one pre-Mexico friend lives there on Cozumel, which I thought was all resorts, but the big city of San Miguel de Cozumel is very diverse, and Anita, an artist with her husband, run a center for artistic expression for disadvantaged kids and adults way out there. But before I went there, I had to go see Orizaba. I spent 7 magical weeks in Orizaba, 2 to 3 hours up in the mountains east of here, west of here, heading towards Mexico City. But my camper van got stolen up there. That was quite ironic. And after 4 years of being camper van man, I had no money to replace it. So as I cast around for how to land on my feet, I said, I'll go back to Veracruz. It's the one place in 4 years where I said again and again, I don't know when I'll leave. It's going to be awfully hard to leave. It's a port town, it's an ocean town. Beautiful. The weather was perfect in January and February. I encountered a kayaking outfitter down in Boca del Rio at the Playa La Bamba called Conoce Veracruz, Get to Know Veracruz, and an iconic woman who called herself Lady. And whereas the other primary outfitter down there had a huge, beautiful SUV that they put the kayaks on top of, Lady and her company put the kayaks on top and behind a 94 Volkswagen bus. And she's an amazing, big, strapping woman who gave me a private kayaking lesson. After the others had gone out, she took me out in my kayak, and she was riding tall and strong and proud on a paddleboard, just unshakable out there. And we went out towards Isla Sacrificios, which at this angle you can't see, but it's a very iconic spot on the coast of Mexico here. The Wikipedia article repeats a European myth as if it were true about Isla Sacrificios, that when the Spaniards came in 1518, on that island they found the remains of humans sacrificed by the Aztecs, body parts and blood everywhere from just the day before. I smelled a rat in that because I've been educated by National Public Radio about the Great Conquest and all of the European myths about why it was easy for the Europeans to take Mexico, because they were smarter and better. Actually, they were more stealthy, they did have better guns, and they brought smallpox. And it took about 10 minutes of sleuthing on the internet to find the truth about Isla Sacrificios. There was a hotel chain, and their website said, you know, it looks like it wasn't human sacrifice out there, it was a burial ground. But Wikipedia still says the opposite. And I think most people around here believe that myth. So Boca del Rio embodies the European. It's a lot of Europeans. You don't see many indigenous people there. Up in the mountains in Orizaba, it was loaded with lovely, beautiful little dark-skinned indigenous people coming in from their mountain communities selling coffee in their beautiful garb, the women dressed very ornate, and the men like a standard Mexican laborer with their flannel shirts and their jeans. Boca del Rio, you don't see any indigenous people. You don't see a lot of them here in Veracruz, but the beach that most emblemizes Veracruz to me is the Acuario Beach, a few miles down that way by the aquarium. And you see everybody there. That beach is loaded with all kinds of people, including the first time I went there, there was a group of about 10 indigenous women brought there by one of their nieces or granddaughters who said, I'm going to put all these videos on Facebook. And they were in their traditional garb, wading in the water, shrieking with laughter at how exciting it was. Boca del Rio, you don't see that. You see rich people. And I left after a few weeks down here. I went in search of bigger beaches. And there are better beaches down there. Tremendously underutilized. This humble little beach gets used a lot. The Acuario Beach gets really used. Once you get to Boca del Rio, the rich people in their beautiful new condos, high-rise condos all along the waterfront, come there from Mexico City and Monterrey, spend parts of the year, or maybe they've retired there. They don't go to the beaches. No. If they're young, they rollerblade and skate and ride their expensive bicycles along the seawall, mostly not even looking at the beach. The ocean has no call to them. It's their lives and their stuff and their selves that counts to them. They're an entirely different cut of people. And I'll tell a couple of separate vignettes that tell about that. But I did, in the beautiful city buildings for the town of Boca del Rio, have a meeting with a really great guy, because I wanted to find out about dangers of driving east from here towards Merida, and he confirmed that it is dangerous. First place that I would be genuinely dealing with a dangerous area, but I won't be driving my camper van anymore. I'll be taking a bus or a train and be safe. But I said to him, your town motto of El Mejor de Veracruz, that's terrible. How un-Mexican to compete with your parent city and claim you're better. Mexicans don't compete. Your residents in this town do. They do think they're better because they've got Apple EarPods only, no cheap auriculares or headphones, and they're into themselves. They don't go to the beach, they go to lunch at the Punta Azul Hotel, which became a base for me, the Harita de Oro coffee shop. I only recently discovered the one down here that's just a couple blocks in that direction. And people in that store, if I mention Luis Cordoba, the Rante Operativo, the general manager of the restaurant, they get almost reverential because he's such a great guy. And he is a good man. He took me around to mechanics to try to get help with my car. He signed his second message WhatsApp to me with Amigo Siempre. I hope we're friends forever. He is a sweet, wonderful man. But in that restaurant, poor Luis was forced to deliver to me a very bad message. The staff all loved me. I didn't have a lot of money. I wasn't spending a lot of money there. But they had a great Wi-Fi, and I just loved hanging out there. He said, I can't let you come in the restaurant anymore. One of my customers said that you were in the restaurant with a dirty shirt and they were uncomfortable being around you. And they've got the money, they've got the power. I have to not let you hang out in the restaurant anymore. We've gotten beyond that now, but that's emblematic of the Mexican people are so inclusive, so welcoming, so non-judgmental. Try to get a Mexican to say a negative word or gossip in any way about another Mexican, and they just won't do it. They'll pretend they didn't hear you. And I asked the guy once, why won't If I ask very sincerely, what's up with so-and-so, no one will answer me. And he said, man, it's hard here. We're poor. I got trouble enough running my own life. Why should I get all up in analyzing somebody else and what's wrong with them? And that's the Mexican way, but not the Boca del Rio way at all. And my next anecdote will be about an encounter with the Boca del Rio cop who spoke the quiet part out loud about the power in that town.